Gaius is now young and has the crest that he always wanted. As he rides towards the capital to enter the academy, he senses the presence of a monster nearby. A big beast appears in front of him. He immediately deals with it, leaving the driver astonished. Arriving at the capital, he enters a weapon shop, where Alma begs the store owner, Baze, to repair her friend's broken magical sword. But Baze refuses to repair it. Matthias offers to enchant it for her. Alma insists that he will do it with the magical stone. The two then sit at a table while they talk. Alma's friend Lurie arrives there. Alma introduces Maddie to her. Maddie enchants the sword, which surprises everyone. Lurie accidentally slices the table in half using the sword. Baze notes how Maddie fixed the sword quickly and without chanting. On the exam day, Lurie manages to pass the fighting portion of the exam. Maddie faces off against Gil. The two fight and Maddie wins. The next portion of the exam is target practice, where participants need to cast fire arrows aimed at the 5 targets. Lurie manages to hit all of the targets. After her, Maddie casts a fireball spell due to the limited range of the 4th crest has. The end result leaves a giant crater in the center of the exam site. On the competition day, Maddie senses a demon and faces a demon named Devilus. Maddie instantly finishes off the cohorts with a single spell and provokes Devilus. Again, Maddie provokes the demon by making him use chantless spells. Using a spellbreaker, Maddie dispels Devilus's human disguise, and the newly exposed demon tries to escape, but Maddie beats him, leaving him dead. Episode 2. Later at the royal castle, Maddie and Edward meet the king. The king grants Maddie all right to the possessions gained within the dungeon. The king asks for Maddie's opinion on the disappearance of the 4 magical chosen ones. During Maddie's past life, he drove the demons to the brink of extinction. It's speculated that the remaining demons infiltrated human society and spread magical misinformation, causing humans' magical powers to wane over time. Maddie clarified that the situation is dire than ever. Maddie surmises it will take 3 months for the demons to gather enough forces to accomplish this task. Maddie assures the king that a barrier is needed to protect the kingdom. For that, Maddie needs a divine class artifact and all second-year students. Preparations can be completed within a month's time, and the students continue learning chantless magic. The king appoints Maddie the leader of the fight against the demons. At the dungeon, Maddie trains Lurie and Alma. Lurie manages to kill 3 monsters with her thread-guided chant skill. Then they go to the 10th floor of the dungeon for a test. Both Lurie and Alma excel in their combative capabilities and gain enhanced XP due to the pendant Maddie wore. Soon, the group faces off against a killer dog, and Lurie and Alma together manage to kill it. Maddie sets up camp and leaves to explore deeper parts of the dungeon. Maddie finds adamantite and gets interested by the presence of a boss monster on the floor below. Maddie faces off against the boss monster, an arc serpent. Upon returning to the 2 ladies, Maddie shows them the corpse of the boss monster he defeated, which shocks them immensely. Episode 3. Matty, Lurie, and Alma visit the Adventurers Guild. The receptionist mistakes Maddie as the porter. He claims that he is carrying his own material and summons the severed head of the Arc Serpent from his inventory. Outside, the receptionist appraises the Arc Serpent's head and the Magic Stone. Maddie claims it's not big enough to power the barrier to protect the kingdom. The receptionist claiming the guild doesn't have funds to buy what Maddie's party provided. They earn 750 gold. Maddie, Edward, Lurie, and Alma meet the king, who offers Maddie another reward for his group's recent accomplishment. Maddie requests more dungeons, and the king honors his request. The king then asks the girls what they like, and both Lurie and Alma decide on money for their reward. Once that was settled with, Maddie calls out the demon spy, surreptitious watching their conversation. The demon refuses to reveal itself. Maddie disrupts the magical visual feed, making him scream in pain. The king recognizes the voice as Elhart, former captain of the Magic Order. Maddie explains to the king how Elhart was able to accomplish his feat. Gauging the coordinates of the location where the spell was cast, Matty asks the king what location it would be. The king answers that it's a ruined village. Matty and the party then head to a dark and desolate location, while Edward and the academy students prepare 1.5 tons of mithril in his absence in preparation for the barrier. Within the desolate location, the group finds a giant black dragon, and Matty talks with it, revealing it to be an old acquaintance of his from his previous life, named Iris. After Maddie repairs Iris' tattered wings as much as he can, Iris allows the party to ride on her back, and then rides at a slow speed. Episode 4. Upon reaching the Vlurin village, Maddie deals with a demon. Nothing the magical presence, Maddie notes that one is Elhart, who would pose a little threat, but the other would be more of a challenge. Amid this contemplation of his, Maddie is nearly struck by Iris crashing into the tower. Inside the small tower, Maddie establishes a telepathic communication line with Lurie and Alma. Within the next room, Maddie tells the two to stay quiet, asking if either of them senses a spark where there seems to be a scarce magical power. Alma senses one in the corner. Maddie then unveils the demon's presence, and is then shot in the forehead by Lurie's thread chant arrow. The demon then continuously attacks Maddie, and enchanted arrows are shot into his back, causing his internal magical power to agglutinate. The demon transforms into a bigger, bulkier form, and tries to attack Lurie and Alma, with an illusion made from magic toxins. Lurie then finishes the demon off with an arrow at the demon's head, and Maddie calls the demon by his name, Elhart. Maddie prepares for the upcoming battle. This causes the remaining demons to disperse from his mist state. The two then start the battle, where the demon cuts off Maddie's left arm. Maddie reattaches his left arm with his healing spell. Maddie then cuts the demon's right wrist. Backed into a corner, the demon casts Magic Circuit Overloaded. Once then, the demon shrouds the area in mist, but Maddie easily cancels it out. Maddie also reveals that the substance used on him earlier wasn't the same toxin, and causing it to explode. What's left behind is a giant magic stone. The group head back to the capital. Since Iris is capable of casting a human transformation spell, Maddie suggests Iris joining the academy. Iris agrees to the offer and transforms into her human form. That night, the group with Iris turn in the spoils. Maddie then asks to have Iris transfer into the school, and Edward allows it if she passes the entry exam within a 4750 range. On the day of the exam, Iris flops on the written exam, but on the sword battle part, she knocks her opponent into the roof tower. This makes Edward question if she's a normal girl or not. Finally, in the magic casting section, Iris casts a couple of spells that backfire, and the final spell she casts destroys the entire magical target ground. At last, Iris passes the exam. Episode 5. In the dungeon, Maddie gets an update of the current situation from Edward. Maddie then asks if it's possible to ask the First Royal Academy to enlist some of its students to help their cause. Edward says that he'll honor it for the sake of the mission, and will have the king intervene. Eventually, Facus enters Edward's room. Edward reminds him that there is no hierarchy between the academies. Facus chastises the Second Royal Academy as inferior, giving Maddie a flashback of how his older brother, Bifker, behaved. Edward requests Facus's help to erect a barrier around the kingdom. Facus refuses. Maddie proposes a competition to settle the matter, and Facus agrees, saying Maddie and his party don't participate in it. Despite Edward's hesitance, Maddie agrees to it, and Facus sets the competition to be in 2 days' time. On the day of the competition, at the start of the make-up in-turn battle, the First Academy all start the incantation of Fire Arrow, easily winning the match by overwhelming their opponents with their chantless magic. Refusing to accept the end result, Facus claims that all 5 of the Second Academy students were monsters. Edward then questions Facus on why the First Academy students are still using enchanted magic. Facus tries to defend himself, as he is dragged away kicking and screaming. Facus curses the Second Academy, swearing that they will pay. The king orders the First Academy students to work with the Second Royal Academy and receive chantless magic lessons. The girls then face off against dungeon monsters as Maddie evaluates them and notes how poor Iris's control over her strength is. With an adequate sized magic stone, Lurie casts a circle around it and receives some help from Maddie. Once completed, Maddie has Iris infuse it with some magic, but she infuses too much into it, causing a giant dragon to be summoned. Following Maddie's orders, Iris disparages the dragon and keeps it distracted long enough for Lurie to enchant an arrow and have Alma shoot it at a dragon. In a pinch, Iris rescues Alma and Lurie by punching the dragon away from them. Iris provokes the dragon to cast a breath spell, and Maddie captures it. Maddie makes it out unscathed, and Maddie offers Iris to officially join the party. The first challenge to Iris is protecting a shell on top of her head. Lurie was assigned to create armor and weapons, and preparing a sword for Maddie, which can handle 8 different kinds of enchantments. Iris manages to get used to dodging Alma's arrows, all while protecting the shell on top of her head. The party then try out their new weapons. Luria creates a new sword for herself, Alma a new bow, and Iris a new spear. Maddie knows that he'll be leaving the Second Royal Academy soon enough. Episode 6. Edward gives a formal speech to the students, Maddie casting the barrier over the kingdom with students. Meanwhile, the remaining students help Maddie clear out the dungeons for resources, and Alma and Luria report that the demon's presence had been detected. But they were detecting a spell called Magic Road. They had reached their destination, and a single demon exits from the Magic Road portalway, and Alma kills it with a single arrow. Another demon then appears, and Luria finishes it off with her sword. He then sends a surge of energy from the capital. Returning to Maddie, he assures the two that everything is fine, and what they felt was a spell more advanced than Magic Road. Iris then appears and drops off 40 boxes of Mithril for Maddie. Outside, a single demon appears and casts a spell at the students, and is blocked by one of Maddie's spells. A couple of students cast spells that are unable to reach the demon. Edward and the entire student body try to buy time for Luria by empowering a defensive spell that Maddie cast. Finally able to create an imbued arrow, Luria gives it to Alma and she shoots it at the demon, who dodges it. Alma redirects the arrow's direction, and it lands right through the demon's heart, and then some students cast fireballs to finish it off. Now, without any protection from Maddie's spell, and surrounded by a large number of demons, all hope seems to be lost. But Alma still insists on buying time for Maddie's sake. Maddie appears and handily defeats all the demons. Maddie owes the victory to the sword forged by Luria. They then go to the barrier crystal area, and then Maddie inserts a magic stone piece into the crystal, which erects a barrier around the city. 3 giant monsters then appear on the field, and Luria, Alma, and Iris deal with them. Once the monster's evolution is complete, they defeat the monster. Maddie reports to Edward that he plans on leaving the academy to search for more dragon veins scattered across the land. Edward proposes that he stay connected with the academy on a special scholarship. When they are all prepared for their journey, the group are seen off by Edward and their student peers. Episode 7. Maddie and his party walk down a pathway leading out of the capital and head to the Melkia dungeon. Luria then asks if they plan on passing through the forest of Chikiri, and Alma mentions. Inside of the city, the lamppost explodes, and the group learns that the new lords forbid using magic stones to power the magic lampposts. After purchasing 4 apples for the group, Maddie's group wanders around the town, taking note of the condition of the surroundings. They then head to the Adventurers Guild to get permits to be allowed to investigate the dungeons. Maddie insists on getting permits, and the receptionist agrees to start the process. Maddie then volunteers himself, and the group is led to the local church. In complete shock by the numbers of injured and the inadequate numbers of healers there, they learn that the Lord fired most of the healers, claiming that they were a waste of money. Maddie appraises the condition of each injured person there, and marks with a wooden tablet as a form of triage. Maddie shows him his healing capabilities, and heals a heavily injured person. The group manages to heal all the injured people. The next day, the group reaches the dungeon's gate, and it's noted that the quality of the door is flimsy. At a restaurant, the group eats some dinner, and Maddie notices some eyes on them. They're followed by those people when they leave the place and head back to the inn, whereas Maddie plans on unmasking the corrupt lord. Episode 8. On their way back to the inn, Maddie has the group take a detour through a side street. Maddie's group appears before them asking for directions. One of the men reveals the direction to the inn. One of them captures Maddie in a chain rope and threatens to kill him. Calling out to Iris, Maddie asks her to use no weapons against them, and Iris then proceeds to defeat the men without her weapons. Once the men are all defeated, Maddie casts a tracking and demon sensing spell onto the men. The following day, the group awakens in their room at the inn, and Maddie informs the group that they received a message from the king. Later, the group meets with Ake. He informs the group that the king's response to Maddie's report that Lord Dokyo Melkia is to be arrested for his exploration of the mines. At the manor where the lord resided, the men inside attack the group with a bombardment of spells, but Luria's bearer protects the group. Maddie then counterattacks with a lightning spell that KOs all of the men there. This is disproven by Maddie's appearance, and Lord Melkia then summons a swarm of men to attack Maddie, who handily defeats them all with a fire spell. Ake then reads Melkia his rights and informs him that he is under arrest. Protesting these claims, Melkia states his refusal to accept this from a child and warns Maddie that bad things will befall the town without him. Maddie then knocks out Melkia with a snap of his fingers. Maddie believes the culprit is a demon. Matty claims that the magic stone inside the dungeon is far bigger than the one in the capital, and if it is infused with a spell, then it would cause a worldwide calamity. Figuring they only have 2 hours until a monster horde reaches and decimates the town, Matty and the group head into the dungeon. Confronting the demon, Matty attacks the demon with his magically amplified sword, but the demon manages to block the attack with its own barrier spell. The battle between the two then continues as the demon unleashes long-range attacks against Matty. The demon boss orders him to use Disfortune, but despite this, Matty still defeats the demon by decapitating it. Matty claims that the monster horde outside is disappearing, and both Iris and Alma have dealt with the monsters on their side. Learning that the demon's location was near a town known as Elenia, but that was a decoy. After a brief back and forth with the demon, it cuts off communication with Matty. Episode 9. Camping inside the cave, Matty's group have a trace of a magical signature which the demon used. The source of the signature is at the Radina Alliance. Matty plans to get help from the king to cross the border to reach the area. The group goes to the Second Royal Academy to find out that it is rebuilding to better withstand the attack, and classes will be held in the First Royal Academy for the time being. Matty meets with Edward, elaborates the whole plan, and asks for his and the king's support to locate the masterminds across the border. Till they get permission from the king, Matty and his group help in construction. Matty realizes he will have to upgrade his grade to rank A as Radina Alliance is in a restricted area. In the Radina Alliance city, the group goes to the guild. They tell their stories to the guild master, so he allows the group to take the rank A ascension test. Outside in the guild training grounds, Gilras passes Alma, Luria, and Iris off the bat, but challenges Matty to a duel. Matty wins the duel by using magic. Gilras was shocked, so Matty tells him about the spell and book he used. Being seen off by Gilras, Matty declines to become an S-rank adventurer and explains that their goal is simply to enter the highly restricted area. The place is the Atelis Plains in the Fokia region, and Ellis offers his help and Matty accepts it. The group arrives at the checkpoint and are given a wooden pass. Matty senses the demon's presence. Matty concocts a plan on using a sleeping agent to infiltrate the city. Matty splits the group into 2, where Iris and he would manage the ambushers, while Luria and Alma would activate the sleeping agent. Matty then casts an illusion spell to create copies of both Luria and Alma, and the plan goes off without a hitch. Episode 10. Alma and Luria are sleeping due to a sleep agent trap they have used against the ambusher. Iris draws on Alma's face, who becomes upset at her for doing that. At destination, Luria senses 30 demonic presence all across the city. Matty claims that the feeling is weak, due to a concealment spell. Luria and Alma claim that demons don't work in groups, but Matty clarifies that that's not the case for demi-demons. The group then enters the city through an underground tunnel. Sensing the presence of a demi-demon, Matty uses his magic to temporarily blind its senses with a stupefy spell, to pass the group undetected. In town, they found people have those spells, just like stupefaction. They enter a factory to pass undetected. Matty casts an anti-those spell and asks them to act as if they were under influence. Iris causes a scene, but the demon that checks up on her figures that the though paralysis cast on her was too much, which causes it to degrade. Inside, they find Rankeen magical ore being used to make it more explosive. A ton of ore can blow the entire kingdom. They decide to eliminate demons to save the people. Demons enter from the city center. They create a large pillar of light in the city. The demons get alert, and the head demi-demon ordered to investigate. The demons encircle the location. Their numbers start to dwindle as Matty and his group deal with them. A brief flashback of Matty's plan is shown, where Iris is the center of the pillar of light as to lure the demons away from the center of town. The use of the magic stones as makeshift bombs against the demons was Matty's plan to spread misinformation in demons' shared consciousness. They have cast concealment magic on themselves. After the 20 seconds, the demi-demons were dealt with. The head demi-demon himself investigates the body and informs others that there were 2 people, and demi-demons were killed by sword. They change their strategy to consolidating together. Matty realizes that they have figured about the trap. The head demi-demon orders the use of magic stone to blow up the city immediately. Before they could even make a move, Gilras eliminated the demi-demons and the head demi-demon. Matty deals with the other demi-demons with the help of Iris. Episode 11. The demon that Gilras defeated regains consciousness and attacks Luria and Alma, but Matty comes in between and defeats the demon, acts a proxy for the mastermind, and by saying that it will revive completely soon. It then disintegrates into dust. Gileas asks for help and Maddie heals him. Luria and Alma notice that with the demons defeated, all the town residents are freed from the spell. Gileas takes control and appoints the factory foreman as the provisional lord of the city. Gileas gives Maddie a permit to enter Kvokia's restricted area. At destination, Maddie opens up the entryway and with the group leaps into the pit to enter the ruins. Maddie splits the group to find any weapons, but Iris heads off to search for food. With everyone gone, Maddie starts to power the ruins' core, and then everyone comes with weapons they found useful. Iris comes with a box of canned preserved food with a preservation spell cast on them, but it still can't be eaten. The ruins' core is now fully charged and is used to track the mastermind demon's location with the help of a part from the factory. It's also deduced that the demon's plan is to wipe out humanity as a whole. They learn that the demon's name is Zodias, and that at their current strength, they are unable to beat it. Maddie plans to use the currently found weapons as something. En route to the kingdom, riding on Iris's back, Maddie gives Luria and Alma magic stones to locate the sword. An outburst of power felt by the group then leads Maddie to conclude that Zodias' seal was broken. Maddie orders Luria and Alma to search for the sword, while he deals with Zodias. The moment Zodias' portal opens up, Maddie tries to seal it, but fails. Iris uses her dragonfire breath, but is still ineffective. Zodias pulls out a sword, and with a single slash attacks Iris. Maddie uses multiple barriers to protect Iris, who dodges the attack. Zodias then attacks and overpowers Maddie, who admits he's the most powerful demon he faced. Luria and Alma reach the treasure, but the guard restricts their entry. But as they are surrounded by more guards, the king appears and allows them to go. Back outside, Maddie struggles to defend against Zodias' attacks, and realizes that in order to win the fight, he'll have to give up his life. Episode 12. Luria and Alma find the sword in the treasury. Maddie struggles to fight against Zodias, who is fully aware of Maddie's plans. Both Azrael and Desrael are revived by Zodias. Although Desrael was beaten, Azrael has two student hostages and demands that the two surrender and hand over the treasure they recovered. Maddie struggles against Zodias, who attacks the barrier surrounding the city. Zodias was winning against him. Luria and Alma continue to face off against Azrael and lay down their weapons. Just before Azrael could take Luria and Alma's weapons, Edward with a group of students intervene in the scene. The girls succeed in delivering the sword. Iris lands down on the city below. Zodias stabs Maddie in the back. However, the sword's special ability revives Maddie. With his new power, Maddie defeats Zodias, who warns Maddie of another chaos demon, and then disintegrates. On the ground, Maddie is embraced by Luria, and is soon joined by everyone. After offering to rebuild the broken parts of the city, Maddie uses up the remaining power in his sword, and in the process creates a giant hole in the mountain. Time passes by, and Maddie, nearly fully recovered, is visited by Iris, Luria, and Alma. They go to thank the king. The king in turn thanks them for slaying Zodias, and rewards them with the sword that was from the treasury, and another treasure from the treasury as well. While inspecting the treasury, Iris finds an arrow made of adamantine. Maddie inquires about the bow, but as it was melted, he buys everything to find that metal. Edward warns the group of an emergency. Gil briefed about a wooden puppet that was retrieved, which originated from the neighboring country of Shiril. Maddie deduced it was powered by human energy, and is most likely created by demons. Gil asked Maddie to travel to Shiril and deal with the demon problem. That night, Maddie gives Luria a pendant that he created for her, and she loves it. Maddie and the group are seen off by Edward and Gil. En route, Maddie reflects on what Zodias told him. However, he's not discouraged by what's ahead, and hopes to continue the adventure. The end.